He labelled the coalition a clown show for their stance on the legislation. Have a look at what he said.
We've had the opposition out, and I'll come to the Greens, your question. We've had the opposition out literally every day for the last 3 or more weeks, calling for the parliament to be recalled, calling for hate speech laws to be strengthened, and now some kind of angry clown show that they've turned into. They're signalling or saying they're going to vote against the laws that they've been calling for.
Nicole, a bit rich for him for calling the coalition a clown show, given what we've witnessed in the last month with the refusal by the PM to have a royal commission.
And also Julian Hill's track record. He is the only clown in this discussion, Steve. Look, I think everyone is rightly, deeply concerned about Labor's rushed and dangerous legislation. It goes way too far. They just needed to introduce something very specific, which is to deal with the horrific tragedy we saw on Australian soil in December, where 15 innocent people were killed because they were Jewish and they were killed by Islamic extremists. That's what we need to be dealing with, not this catch-all bill that Labor have introduced, that there are rightly very grave concerns about the extent of its scope and the genuine impact that it may have on freedom of speech. So the only clown here is Julian Hill, and I hope we see everyone oppose this bill. It looks like that's what's going to happen. And Labor go back to the drawing board and actually introduce very specific legislation to protect our Jewish Australians and to crack down on this anti-Semitic hatred that we have seen since October 7.
Yeah, well, you know, they're now saying that the Greens are now saying they won't support it, but what that means in Green language is we say we won't support it, but then if you give us some of the changes we want made to it, then we will. And so we're going to end up in an even worse bill. I want to talk about, though, this ridiculous story today. It made me absolutely laugh. The Australian newspaper reported that Teal volunteers during the last election have described and Nicole, you'll know this very well, their harrowing experience on the campaign trail. One volunteer said that rival volunteers shook their hands too hard, didn't accept their lollies, and even wouldn't talk to them. They also said they felt unsafe due to the number of volunteers. I mean, Nicole, you've been on, polling booths your whole life. Seriously?
Yeah, seriously, the Teals strike again. Look, this is pathetic, I think is the polite way of describing their complaints. However, Steve, I have actually been on polling booths for most of my life, let's say at least 3 decades. My date of birth is a matter of public record, so yeah, I'm pretty old. Last election, though, I would say just the sheer number of people on polling booths is out of control. I have genuine concerns about voters and their experience on the day, volunteers and their experience, AEC staff who are having to sort of adjudicate over these sorts of pathetic complaints. Oh, they shook my hand too hard. Oh, they wouldn't take my lollies, right? Because they often do get dragged into it. And also, I think that we do have some considerations for the environment as well, because the amount of wrap and plastic that just gets thrown out is just wrong. So I actually think we need to have a really close look at how many people we're letting onto the polling booths, first and foremost, just so voters can get in and vote. And in this day and age, with the range of communications that are available to political parties, paper, print, online, text messages, everyone gets spammed. There's actually no need to have so many people on polling booths because you've got your information to the voters already.
Lisa, I voted at a pre-poll booth in a Teal seat. You can imagine how I was received when I turned up there.
But that's a challenge, though. Running the gauntlet is part of the fun, isn't it, Steve? I found it really interesting that Monique Ryan, remember it was her husband who got caught pulling down a Liberal candidate's sign and he was filmed doing it and then he quickly denied it after running away. And now one of her complaints I found was interesting was some woman with a poodle dared to pull down Monique Ryan's bunting and she ran away when the people tried to film her. So, the Teals sit in a very rich position, don't they, when they start to throw stones from where they sit.
They do indeed, and it's great to see you both. Thank you. Have a great weekend.